We are on location at Patrick Air Force Base for a special presentation on DEOMI, the Defense Equal Opportunity Management Institute based right here, which provides essential services throughout the military in a course that's really essential throughout the world, all of society, and we'll learn more about it and see a compilation of videos and more information following these messages.
America's future will be determined by your dreams and your visions.
Some of you will fly the fastest planes that have ever been built, reach the highest altitude that man has ever gone to.
Whether you serve in the skies above or on the ground below, each of you has stepped forward to defend your country.
The American people support you, and they believe you truly do represent the best of America.
This nation was founded by men of many nations and backgrounds. It was founded on the principle that all men are created equal. The rights of every man are diminished when the rights of one man are threatened. Today we are committed to a worldwide struggle to promote and protect the rights of all who wish to be free. It ought to be possible for every American to enjoy the privileges of being American without regard to his race or his color. The heart of the question is whether all Americans are to be afforded equal rights and equal opportunities, whether we are going to treat our fellow Americans as we want to be treated. It is better to settle these matters in the courts than on the streets, and new laws are needed at every level. But law alone cannot make men see right. The fires of frustration and discord are burning in every city, north and south. Where legal remedies are not at hand, redress is sought in the streets, in demonstrations, parades, and protests, which create tensions, threaten violence, and threaten lives. A great change is at hand, and our task, our obligation, is to make that revolution, that change, peaceful and constructive for all. Those who do nothing are inviting shame as well as violence. Those who act boldly are recognizing right as well as reality.
We have broken the sound barrier and pioneered new paths to space. But where is that new frontier? What barriers will we break next? Every day, we are given the opportunity to sign our name to history. Just close your eyes and look inside. You are that new frontier.
When I was in graduate school, I went to a conference and went to this simulator display that they had and spoke with some folks, and they said they had internships and encouraged me to consider that. So I kept up with these folks, and a year later I had applied and was one of 10 who were accepted out of several thousand into this program, and it was just the best experience I can imagine. It's important for me to give back and to encourage others to do STEM. It's such a pathway to so many other possibilities and places you can go in your life. So that's one of the reasons I started this program here at DEOMI. It's very, very important. It actually is responsible for 50% of our nation's economic growth. And the big challenge we have right now is that 30% of our nation in the government is retiring. Our professionals in engineering and statistics and math and science and these areas that are so important, we're not getting enough people. We introduced our STEM program here at the Defense Equal Opportunity Management Institute, or DEOMI. We did that through ONR's SEEP and NREAP programs, and that's for high school and college students respectively. And they are partnered with the ASCE, and that provides the mechanism for the applications, they provide the funds, and we host the students. So we, for 8 to 10 weeks of the summer, get these students, provide them projects, and enrich them with outside activities to expand their STEM knowledge. In return, we get these bright and brilliant minds to help us solve our problems and challenges and work on things we need to have worked on that have a science and technology, engineering, or math focus. To supplement our STEM work with STEM activities, we went on field trips and we had lunch and learns. For our field trips, we went to Kennedy Space Center, Florida Institute of Technology, the Naval Ordnance Testing Unit, and also saw the Vermont National Guard. They flew in and we got to go check out their planes and talk to them. So those were our field trips, and they were a lot of fun. Our lunch and learns, we brought in speakers from AFTEC, which is the Air Force Technical Applications Center, and they do a lot of stuff we can't talk about, but what they did share was just how much science they use to keep us safe and how they monitor the world for different nuclear events to keep others safe, and the different processes and applications and science behind that.
We basically did everything. On top of having our own projects to work on, which varied from student to student, of course, we had the field trips, the lunch and learns, everything in between. We got to see what life was like at DEOMI on a day-to-day basis. Got to see all of the back labs at Kennedy Space Center, things that most people wouldn't even dream of. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to apply to this internship, because it was a new experience. I never heard of any program like this before I was told about the program, and it seemed like something interesting and a way to do something real, something that could benefit a lot of people.
When I first heard about the STEM project, it just caught my interest because I know that now our students that are coming through DEOMI have evolved so much. There have been so many different deployments, and each time they deploy, they bring something back with them, a new experience. And I figured that this program would help us be able to capture some of those experiences utilizing science and math and technology as a new way to interact with the student and actually create some new products that we can use out in the field.
I think the commands, the most exciting thing was seeing people really value the products. They valued what they received from these students. Not everyone would believe that a student can do the math that we required or complete the work we required, but collectively they accomplished so much. They created tools for networking that will ease anyone who needs to set up a social network. They created reviews and papers and documents and manuals, all from science and methods that improved what we do and make our daily lives better.
I've always been big on history, literature, and math, and science was sort of the runt of the litter in terms of the subjects that I studied in elementary and middle school. But everything that I've learned from this shows me there's so much more to it than I initially realized. And that is something that I really appreciated learning about all of this, and I had a great time with it.
It's just such a win-win. The students get knowledge and experience, we get this work done, and often get it done more quickly and with a different mindset than if we hadn't had these students.
It was an eye-opening experience. I would certainly use the STEM program again, and I would say that anybody out there that's interested in it should really take advantage of it.
I've always said that I think the future rests in our children and in the hope that we can pass to a new generation the understanding that it's not about your gender, your religion, your sexual orientation, or the color of your skin. And that if we can do that and stop passing our prejudices along to our children, it's taken a long time to get this far, and it'll probably take another 50 or 60 years to get further. But I think each of us can stay dedicated to what we do. It should remind each of us why we do what we do and it reminds me and gives me the passion to remember why DEOMI does what it does, as the only organization in the world that I know of that does what it does.
This concludes our presentation for today from on location at Patrick Air Force Base. I'm Richard Peretz. We'll now hear the retreat signaling the end of business and work on the United States Air Force Base. Thank you for being with us.